So it's a very cold Saturday morning, the Gettysburg battlefield.
So, as a resident, I would expect transparency would have been, well, this is all we have. We could only retrieve this much because Auditor Hoke deleted that video. But you have to wonder, if she would delete a video when she was told not to, under penalty of law, and she defiantly did it anyway, what else happens in that township that is deleted that we don't even know about? And that's why it's important for residents to hold them accountable for their actions. They're supposed to be representing their constituents, the residents. And look at her behavior at the meeting. They sit there like they're home in their living room watching a TV. No professionalism. When I go to the Planning Commission, there's only two people on that Planning Commission that I respect, and that's Ted Decker and Tom Strife. They have a very professional way of running the meeting. With my experience with open records, and I've only filed, I believe, 2 appeals, I have found that I felt disadvantaged by the fact that townships have their solicitors working on the appeals, and then the Open Records Office in Harrisburg also have their attorney. Regular citizens just have their own themselves, that's it. And it's not a level playing field. And I do receive daily emails from the ORO that shows all the appeals that have determinations, and also the courts when these appeals eventually go on to a court appeal. And I'm surprised by the regular appeals are mostly denied. And I look through that and I think, well, yeah, citizens are actually at a disadvantage.
What do you mean by regular appeals?
Okay, the first phase, I'm sorry, it's the first phase of the appeal process, which is to take it before the Office of Open Records, and they have an attorney assigned to your appeal, and he makes the determination. The final determination letter comes from him. And on the emails that I get, they have the number of the appeal, then they have the name of the requester versus a township or municipality, and then it'll show the final determination. And a lot of them say denied, moot, denied, denied. And as a resident, it's very disheartening, because you go in, you take all this time to appeal, and then this board decides, due to whatever it is, your appeal is denied. And it gives an advantage to the townships because they have an attorney working on it.
Are any of these public?
They're all public. They're public once the final determination is made and published, and that's why I get the emails daily. So
from that point, you can read and see what the petitioner was asking for, and
correct. And in fact, on the email, it does explain, like if it said DeGangi versus Huntington Township, it would say what I requested. But then you have to go in and tap on the PDF for the final determination, and that's where it's explained how they came to their decision at the Office of Open Records. And like I said, residents are at a they're disadvantaged by this because, okay, the attorneys will go in and cite these cases. Well, we don't have to do this because this, this case said so. And if this is actually an office that's supposed to be about transparency, where is the transparency if right away a requester is denied, and it's just unfair.
It feels like to me that where citizens have a right to privacy, the government is trying to use that same privilege. Yeah, I don't know exactly how to frame that, because the government is not supposed to be private. There's not supposed to be anything private in nature with the government. Nothing's supposed to be practiced in private. So why keep these things private?
Simply because they don't want you to know what's going on behind closed doors. That's the simple explanation. These officials that we elect, they just get they get into that position and they feel that they're above us. In the case of Dave Boyer, he rules over that community, and he acts like he's king of the little fiefdom. But I just find that the laws as crafted language is always to the benefit of the officials.
The paper is put there so people can stand behind it, but really there's nothing there, and it makes sense to come out from behind it and be like, look, this is what's happening, this is what's going on, instead of trying to cover it up, because it's costing the residents money, all that. If any of these residents really looked into it and were really, they'd be like, damn, they just paid that lawyer $1,000 to cover this up
for 8 days' work. That is ludicrous. And that's why I stated that at the meeting.
He's literally getting paid to cover stuff up. That's, to me, just, that is the exact opposite of what it was what the people came together to create a government for.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned previously, and I mentioned this to a lot of people I meet, that an attorney told me the language is crafted to protect the agencies. It's not about transparency. It's to give the illusion that the residents have the right. Oh, we have the right to go. You have the right to go in and ask for that document. But when you come up against a brick wall, an attorney or officials that don't want you to know, they can use any excuse. Oh, sorry, we don't have that in our possession. But our government is supposed to be run by the people.
I get that, but yeah, that's not.
But it's not true. Yes, it's correct. But
so again, the laws and stuff have been crafted to make it appear that it is a certain way. But once you get in there, you're like, wait a minute.
That's why I want to, in a future video, to discuss the surveys that the Open Records Office has had in existence since 2018, if I remember correctly. They have only, all of them except one, has been a survey of the agencies, the townships, etc. One during, I think it was during COVID, they did a survey of the requesters, and the questions were a bit ludicrous as far as I'm concerned. It was like, oh, are you having trouble getting your right to know request in the allotted time, etc. It was nothing of substance. People were saying, oh, no, it's, they're taking 30 days, but okay, we get it in 30 days. It was no issue. But I find it interesting because the surveys for the officials, these agencies and townships, I was horrified. They want the 30-day extension extended. They want to, the biggest thing which really upset me was the fact that they want a law passed or an amendment to the ORO Act that for vexatious requesters. So say my 8 or 5 come in a month. If that township put my name on a list, I would not be able to get any right to know request, which is my right as a citizen, as a resident, for 3 years. And the legislature tried to pass that in 2024. For whatever reason, it didn't go through. So now they're going to reinstitute that bill.
Why do you think it'll pass?
I don't think it will if people are watching and the residents realize how detrimental that is. It's taking away a right, and it's saying, well, because you ask questions and you have a neighbor that asks no questions, we're gonna punish you, and that's your punishment. And I remember reading the act, and I don't know whether it was a bulletin or a special kind of blog that the ORO came out, because it was a couple of years ago I read this. They said, if you have a document, don't even make your residents ask for it. If they come in and say, I want this information, and you have it, give it to them. Mm-hmm. Don't go through the system. Just try to be that open about things. And if the minutes were on the website that Huntington Township now has, I wouldn't have to ask for minutes. I haven't done that in months, which is because I've been too busy. But if they were on, that would be one less thing for that township to have to do. More and more people are striving for that. I mean, you see on YouTube all these 1A people that go into the city halls and they get arrested for filming the public employees. They are now starting to go to their local meetings because they realize that's where it starts. And
I think that's where you can have the most impact.
Yeah. And our channel has had impact.
Well,
we've gotten a lot of disdain, but there have been good outcomes, I think, that over the past 2 years, I guess. I mean, let's face it, that's why Dave Boyer ran again. He saw Geis and King messing up, and he decided, and that's why he's chairman right now, because he's going to get control again, or he thinks he is. So.